Want to know if you have astigmatism in your eyes? Then try this simple clock dial test at home. Step 1. Look at the clock dial with one eye covered. Step 2. Focus on the center and notice if any lines look darker or clearer than the others. If some lines look darker or sharper than the others, it could be a sign of astigmatism. This happens because light isn't focused evenly in your eye. Now switch to the other eye and try it again and let us know your results. Do you have astigmatism?
Y'all, if you're waiting for God to send you anything person related, whether it be your spouse, kingdom friendships, partnership, community, whatever it is, let me tell you what the Lord told me last night. That this is why I love talking to God. Like, he has so much wisdom. He's so wise. I was sitting down and I was frustrated and I was angry because I had been waiting for the person that God told me I would be, in relationship with. So I was like, okay, God, like, what's taking so long? Like, you told me, you promised me this and that, A, B, and C, and D, right? You know how we get mad at God and we're just like, God, come on now. Like, it's about time. And the Lord said, what would you do? Wow. The Lord said, what would you do if I gave you a glass and it broke? And I was like, I don't know. At first I said, throw it away. But all of a sudden, the answer just came to me. And I said, I would make sure that all the pieces were swept together so that nobody else would get hurt by it. He said, that's what I'm doing with you and your person. He was like, I'm making sure that all the broken pieces that have shattered you will not cut each other. I'm making sure that everything between y'all is being healed so that when I bring you together, you won't bleed onto each other. And so I think it's important to remember that God knows us better than we know ourselves. And he was like, I'm just making sure that you don't cut each other. I'm making sure you don't hurt each other. And I know it's taking a while, but wouldn't you rather wait until something is mended or get it too prematurely and then you just destroy each other? And the thing that was supposed to be a blessing now becomes a thing that you destroy and destroys you. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but sorry, the camera's shaking. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I did. And I have so much more peace about the whole situation now.
The minimal corrections you make towards a person you love will make them leave you quicker than cheating, lying, or anything else will. Every time they talk about something, you correct their grammar, or you correct the timeline. Or it wasn't a year, it was 2 years. It wasn't 6 months, it was 9 months. Who gives a fuck? Just listen to the fucking story. You consistently correcting the person is like you slapping a dog on the nose. Eventually, the dog's just not gonna come to you anymore.
Hey, Normie, do you know what predictive programming is? No? Well, it's when they show us something ahead of time that they know they're going to do, and it relieves them of any sort of karmic debt, and it also gets you to manifest it for them. Would you know what the walk-in-the-door free prize was in Kobe Bryant's very last game? Well, I looked it up. The giveaway during Kobe's last home game was something called the Robo-Jam doll. Interesting. Well, you want to see what it looks like? Why don't we take a closer look? It's Kobe as a remote control helicopter. And not only this, but did you see the cartoon that was made just a few short months before his helicopter death?
Almost there. Oh, shit! It's Kobe Bryant. Help me. Just pass me the trophies and we'll pull you out. Pass.
No, literally.
Wait.
What the fuck is
Babe,
going
stop
on?
cussing. Wait, she's not moving at all.
That's what I'm saying. What is going on, man?
What is she looking at?
What is she doing?
That's actually really
That's
concerning.
Very creepy. I don't know what's going on here. You know, I've seen a lot of TikToks with like glitches in the Matrix, but this got to be top dog for me.
Oh my god.
Like, no, seriously, this is a glitch. Like, no one is standing that perfect with their legs crossed. I'm just being.
Look at this guy.
I want to see if he see. Look at him. No. Is no one noticing this? Look, is no one seeing this? What is going on? Look, even
that's
looking.
crazy.
No, she's looking. Look. Oh.
What?
We don't read our Bibles enough, and I can prove it to you again. Quick, how many of each animal did Noah take on the ark? If you said 2, you're actually half right. He took 2 of every unclean animal. But of every clean animal and every bird, he actually took 14 of each. 7 pairs, male and female each. Go read Genesis chapter 7, verses 2 and 3. Who cut Samson's hair? If you think Delilah, you're wrong. Go read Judges chapter 16, verse 19. Delilah held his head, and then she called a man in, and that man actually cut Samson's hair off. She never cut his hair at all. What about angels? How many wings does an angel have? If you said 2, 100% wrong. You will never find any instance in this book of an angel having 2 wings. Most of the angels that visited people in the Old Testament look like you and me. They were very humanistic. There were no wings mentioned whatsoever. There are angels with wings, though. There are seraphim, and seraphim have 6 wings, 2 that cover their face, 2 that cover their feet, and 2 that they fly with. And then there's cherubim. And if you're thinking cherubs, like those cute little baby angels with the tiny little wings, that is not biblical whatsoever. Cherubim are fearsome angels. They have 4 heads, 4 faces. They have 4 wings. They are frightening creatures, but they don't have 2. The whole 2 wings on an angel thing comes from Renaissance paintings. Same thing with halos. You will never find the word halo anywhere in this book. Angels do not have them. That was also added later from paintings. This one actually got me. As I was researching a sermon, I was looking for the phrase, ask Jesus into your heart. Not there. Not in the Bible whatsoever. The closest you'll get to it is Revelation 3, where Jesus says, I knock at the door and wait to come in and eat with you. That's it. There is no ask Jesus into your heart anywhere in this book. What about the prostitute that Jesus saved? What was her name? If you said Mary Magdalene, also wrong. Mary Magdalene and the prostitute are 2 completely different people, and the concept they were the same person was added hundreds of years later. It is actually not biblical. And for bonus points, there is no purgatory, there is no rosary beads, and there is no Holy Grail found in this book. Almost everything that we think we know about the Bible was either added later by people, was in a movie or a song that we heard, or a poem or a painting. You have to read this book for yourself. Please open this book and read it for yourself, and you'll find out, just like me, how much we have been taught that is not biblically accurate. God bless you.
Have you ever encountered a corner of a book that looked like that, where there's extra bit out too far past the edges? This actually has a name. It's called a témoin, and that word is a French word for witness. You can see from the smooth edges that it must have been folded in at the time that the leaves were trimmed, and so it's a witness to the process. And so there it is, the témoin.
What? Look at this mountain. Oh my god. Why do these mountains look like creatures? Look at the mass. Eye. Look at the frog rock here. Oh, this is crazy stuff. Allegedly, my friend, all these are just natural occurrence of stones forming to look like creatures that exist. This is crazy. Do you think these are real creatures that were done what? Petrified? Tell us in the comments.
Have you ever thought about how your nose is just millimeters from your brain? Your nose is packed to the brim with bacteria, which is sitting right next to your olfactory bulb, the part of your brain that processes smell. This led scientist Irene Salinas to ask a really good question. Is the bacteria in our nose getting into our brains? She decided to dive deep into this mystery using her favorite model organism as her test subject, fish.
Well, Nemo, all new explorers must answer a science question.
Okay. We've known for ages that we have a gut microbiome, but what about a brain microbiome? Scientists always thought that bacteria couldn't possibly enter our brain because of the blood-brain barrier, which is basically the bouncer to the brain's entrance. But Salinas had this gut feeling, pun intended, that maybe, just maybe, our brain has tiny bacterial roommates too. After 5 years of intensive research, Salinas and her team found something fascinating. In salmon and trout brains, they didn't just find traces of bacteria, they found entire thriving communities actively living in the brain tissue. And that's not even the most interesting part. A great question you're probably asking yourself right now is how the heck did they get past the blood-brain barrier? Their working hypothesis is that these bacteria already existed inside the brain before the blood-brain barrier formed. But the bacteria had also developed special abilities that allowed them to pass through the blood-brain barrier, almost like a special passport that allowed them to go in and out with ease. They even caught one bacteria in the act of crossing the blood-brain barrier. While fish and human brains aren't exactly one-to-one, this finding has important implications. Now imagine the role a possible brain microbiome has on our bodies. We could be looking at an entirely new field of neuroscience that we never even knew existed. It's pretty amazing how the simplest questions, like wondering what's going on between the space between your nose and your brain, can lead to such incredible scientific discoveries.
I went and did some more observations today over the ocean and pulled boats back into view. I put this video together just to show how much cognitive dissonance globers have. This is a few clips from the debate I had on Monday Debate with my friend Nathan Thompson.
Can you see the boat? They stop running away.
No, but that's just resolution.
Does the boat disappear when you look at it, when it goes away from you? Is it going over the curvature of the Earth?
Yes. Yes. Zoom in.
Do you see the boat now?
Oh, where's the bottom of that boat?
In the water.
It's in the water. It's in the water.
They put boats in the water, Einstein.
Do you see how that buoy is lower than the boat in the distance?
Yeah, the buoy's in the foreground. It's not over the horizon. Good job.
Great. So as we look further into the horizon on the globe, it doesn't dip down and away. It keeps rising up. Funny that.
That's not true. That's just a... That's not true?
That's... What? Are you kidding?
Bro.
Are you joking?
These people just gnaw everything. Look, you can see the wake of the boat splashing as it goes through the water, dude.
Okay, so that boat looks to me like it's right at the horizon. So maybe none of it is obscured.
Oh, okay.
Okay, none of it's obscured, yeah.
So wait till okay. And all the way.
What was this meant to
You know how to zoom out a lens.
Can you see the boat? They stop running away.
No, but that's just resolution.
You're a stupid dumbass. Yeah, that's the whole point, numpty. Boats get too far away to sea. They don't go over a curve. PhD. Go get a refund.
I don't think a lot of people know this, but according to Nikola Tesla's own words, he was receiving visions in flashes of light. And that's how he came up with a lot of his ideas and how he survived multiple near-death experiences in childhood. Now, if this wasn't some gift from like aliens, angels, or psychic powers, then it was really useful schizophrenia, I guess. Now, the weirdness for Tesla starts the minute he was born. He was born at midnight, and now he says he has no birthday because of that. And also he says that his heart beat on the wrong side, so on the right side of his body. And this is a quote from him. And did so for many years after. As I grew up, it beat on both sides, and finally settled on the left. This made his parents think that he was destined for the clergy. But Tesla obviously had other ideas, and he would start to see objects that people mentioned in front of him as if it was tangibly, like he could touch it. So it would be a bright flash of light, and then in front of him would appear the object that was being described. And Tesla couldn't distinguish this from reality at first. And the two craziest experiences from his childhood both come when he was in a situation where he could have easily died. When Tesla was 14 years old, he was swimming with friends in a pond, and they went under a large floating structure. According to him, he couldn't get out. The torture of suppressed breathing was getting unendurable. My brain was reeling, and I felt myself sinking. At that moment, when my situation seemed absolutely hopeless, I experienced one of those flashes of light, and the structure above me appeared before my vision. So he saw the entire structure in his mind, and then could see exactly where he had to go to get out from under it. The next situation happens 2 years later, also involves water, weirdly. He's playing at a dam, swimming alone, and the water level is dangerously high, and he doesn't realize this until it's too late. So he's hanging on to the dam, and the water is rushing below him, and he can't hold on anymore, basically, and he's going to get sucked under. But According to him, he remembers, just as I was about to let go to be dashed against the rocks below, I saw in a flash of light a familiar diagram illustrating the hydraulic movement that eventually showed him what he needed to do to save his life. Essentially, the flash of light came and he saw the blueprint of the dam and its hydraulic system. These visions were not, he didn't like this. I mean, he was happy that they saved his life, but they caused him distress. And so what he would do was that he would essentially, like, when he would see these visions, he would try and shift them and focus on another image that he conjured in his mind. And what he said he would do would basically astral travel. And he started to do this at night. And he started to, experience what basically like other realms. He would travel to far off places and meet people and explore. Even Tesla's idea for alternating current occurred to him while he was being taught, the basics of electricity in school. And he saw that it was sparking, and he had a flash of light, and the image came to him of the alternating current. And once again, these aren't like speculations, these are in his own words. He wrote these things in letters to people, especially nearing the end of his life. And I just think he was a genius, but it seems like some of his ideas were coming to him in an unconventional, almost supernatural way. It's kind of like divine intervention in some way, and it feels like if we had maybe followed his path rather than Edison's, maybe life would be a lot different, maybe better, maybe some outside force was trying to push us down the right path, or maybe that's just the way that Tesla's genius intelligence expressed itself.
I have an update for you in regards to the Manchester metallic blue sphere that was seen in the UK, and that literally ignited the internet. Whoa, we have a new sighting, and this is actually coming out of Arizona. If you saw my video today, I posted regarding the recent surge of UFO sightings within the last 3 days, and now we have what looks like to be the Manchester sphere here, spotted near Lake Pleasant in Peoria, Arizona on December 1st by a woman named Ray. As I zoom in and pause this video, it really does look like the sphere. But the question still remains, why Arizona? We do have Luke Air Force Base, which is one of the main bases here in the valley, but that doesn't explain why this surge of UFO sightings across the state. What's going on? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
So, look at that stuff. It looks pretty huge. You see? More like a capsule or something like that. What could it entail inside? Or do you think this is some government hidden technology that people don't know about? Tell us in the comment section. Or is it still a UFO that came to spy on those people? Or they say not really spy, or come check down on them. Because this is quite obvious. They can easily be seen. Yo! This is crazy stuff. My God. What do you think they are doing just hovering around that place? Well, this is quite strange. Does that thing about
what is happening with? What can you tell us about these drones?
What I would tell you, Jennifer, is that they are being actively monitored. Installation leaders have determined so far that none of these incursions impact the base residents, the facilities, or the assets that we have on those bases. We're, of course, continuing to work with host nation authorities and our mission partners to ensure the safety of our personnel, our facilities, and equipment. The bottom line is it's something that we're going to take seriously. We're going to continue to look into it, but as of right now, it's not had any significant mission impact.
Some issues with the reporting on how this is being reported, and not drones. Let me be very clear. This isn't conspiracy. This isn't craziness. They are not drones. We had the same situation at Langley Air Force Base in February. They were there for 16 nights and they could not disperse. This is the same thing all over again. It's really, really, really important that we stick to the facts.
Look at this. They found the most haunting thing on the ocean floor. Let's get a look at what it is. Most haunting thing. Why would they go searching for it? Oh, let's see what it is anyway. Okay. What is that? Can it haunt us by seeing it from a video, or do you have to be there to experience it? What is that thing? Ocean gate. My friend is telling me it's an ocean gate. What is an ocean gate? Oh, my friend tells me it's a transit company that had submarines that were taking people to see the Titanic. Now it went down there and sank on the ocean floor, crashed. My God, my friend told me those guys, the CEO was inside that thing when it crashed there.
Check this out.
Well, yes, it is strikingly similar. And the clarification, what Einstein did not know, that you now do know, is that those particles that came together were a vibrational match, or they could not have done it. In other words, he did not understand then. He was witnessing the law of attraction at work. But the thing that confused him, and this is what he really wants to say to you now, the thing that was confusing then was the randomness of which particles came together. And it was the not being able to expect the particle to come together, because the missing piece was the understanding about the vibrational nature or the law of attraction aspect of those particles. So they were called entangled particles by me,
Einstein.
instead of matching particles, because the law of attraction was not fleshed out in the way that it now is. And we say to you, yes, your vortex is provable. Our friend proved it in traffic that day. But don't seek to prove it to others, because no one can see past their expectations.
Yes.
And when you try too hard to prove something that they're not ready to see,
Yes.
that they are not a vibrational match to, then you get frustrated like Einstein was. He died frustrated over that, because it seems random when it isn't. It seems like you're not in control when you are.
You are in control.
And so much of what he studied made him know that that was true most.
What's this? This is an artificial sun, my friends. Just like you can see here. Well, this is crazy. Well, as you can see, it's in the lab, maybe preparing to be launched in the sky. Oh, this is crazy stuff. It's like some attachment of different materials, or what's up? Is this a plasma? Well, this is quite bizarre. Look at it.
I would like you to introduce yourself, and then we have probably 2 minutes for your questions. So go ahead, Em.
Although I don't think mine are going to be that long.
All right.
I just want to get, well, first of all, I'm Joy Hunt Germain, and I know Billy through the teleconference originally that he has on Saturday about
Every
other Saturday.
Tell
every
just
other
briefly
Saturday.
about that.
Oh, yeah.
Saturdays?
Every other Saturday, I give a teleconference.
All right.
I talk, and then my father comes through and he talks. And he is a resident of Hollow Earth, and also my father, my real father.
And then your question.
Zora.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my website and web address and also website will be on your thing.
Right. And Billy channels Zora, who's in Inner Earth at the time.
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
Right.
There's a difference between them.
Would you, that's one of my, what I wanted to ask you. What is the difference between Hollow Earth and Inner Earth then? Because I'd always thought they were the same thing.
Hollow Earth is where the central sun is located. The core of your planet is the central sun, 600 miles across, and it shines out through the polar openings called reflects off of ice crystals called crystalline, which reflects back to the Earth as a halo of light. That's your northern lights. And the inner Earth is in the Earth's crust. There's 7 different civilizations 800 miles beneath your feet. Within the Earth's crust.
Yeah,
The Earth's crust is 800 miles thick, and within that Earth's crust is 7 different type of civilizations.
How many levels are in that Earth crust then that you're talking about?
Well, your Earth crust is not in levels. It's just in different
dimensions.
No, not different dimensions. It's like a different. Well, I guess you could say different levels. At different depths down, there's a different type of civilization. Starting from the crust, at the top of the crust, all the way down to the inner.
Sounds
inner
like the
side
Matrix
of
to
the
me.
Earth shell. Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different
I want
levels.
to make sure I understand because that's the part that confused me the most. I
Right.
thought I had understood it, and I
Well, see,
found out I didn't.
I guess you could always you could say hollow earth and inner earth are still inner earth because it's underneath your feet, so it could be construed as inner earth as well. But the hollow earth itself, to me, means I lived there, was separate from the inner earth,
Okay.
which is in the earth's crust.
Right. So the most inner part again is the inner earth where the sun shines. Of course,
The hollow earth.
Okay, the hollow earth.
Yes.
The inner earth. Now you were just saying that didn't represent the levels, right? And
Right.
I've always heard it described as levels.
Well, I guess you can construe it as levels, but I just say different depths of the crust.
Okay.
I don't classify it as levels because there's 7 different types of civilizations within the Earth's crust, and it's not on any particular level.
Well, my friends, hey. Can you believe all those things you've just seen and heard? You see? Crazy, right? Leave your comments about them there and tell us what you think or would like to add a little bit on all those videos. Anyway, let me take this chance, my friend, to express my gratitude towards you for watching all this way, hitting that like button, and being with us. It's a pleasure even for you that have subscribed today. Lots of love and good vibes. Interesting soul. Let me reward you with something for the soul as we wrap up the show. You see, this one comes from Colossians 2:16. Therefore, do not let anyone judge you by what you eat or drink, or with regard to a religious festival, a new moon celebration, or a Sabbath day. These are a shadow of the things that were to come. The reality, however, is found in Christ. Do not let anyone who delights in false humility and the worship of angels disqualify you for the prize. Such a person goes into great detail about what he has seen, and his unspiritual mind puffs him up with idle notions. He has lost connections with the head, from whom the whole body, supported and held together by its ligaments and sinews, grows as God causes it to grow. Well, interesting, my friends. If you have a different version of this Good Vibes book from this one which you've just read, you can tell us there in the comment section what it says. You can even read further and try to elaborate to us how you'll understand it your way. Now, interesting source. Let's give thanks to our creator for good vibes. Dear Lord Father, thank you for us, Father, for our lives and for your breath in us. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for giving us, together with your child here, today's viewer, a chance to be alive in these times. All glory and honor, Father, belong unto you. Thank you, dear Lord Father, of reminding us of the importance of love and peace, dear Lord, during these times we are living in. Help us, Father, to stay according to those virtues, Father, and be a light to those around us. Forgive us all our sins, Father, together with your child here, and may your blessings overflow in our lives. May this viewer, Father, receive your goodness and kindness from wherever they are. Dear Lord Father, all the desires of their hearts and minds, Father, may you intervene as per your will, dear Lord. And as a family, dear Lord Father, happiness and quarters. Help us, dear Lord, to grow in numbers and in faith, Father. And may our message always reach to the whole world, Father. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, King of Kings, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Interesting. So, I've been Y311H. God bless you. It's been a pleasure being with you. Bye-bye.